Okay, more crime in New York City. This one is really savage. Woman fatally stabbed inside New York City apartment after being followed. Let's see right here. Um, in this video here, you can see him following her right in as she opens the door. A woman was stabbed to death inside her Chinatown apartment early Sunday after her alleged killer followed her home, and her final moments were caught on chilling surveillance footage. Video obtained by the Post shows the suspect tailing the 35-year-old victim, Yuna Lee, on the street as she enters her Christie Street apartment building, following close behind as she opens the front door and strolls into the hallway. Minutes later, a neighbor across the hallway of the victim's sixth-floor apartment at 111 Christie Street called 911 around 4:30 a.m. after hearing her screams. During the brutal stabbing, law enforcement sources said. And here's a picture of her right here, coming in. 4:23. Okay. And you see him right back here. Victim was unknowingly stalked by a random man following a night out, police said. There he is right there, being taken out by the cops. We have got cameras in every floor and in the front here, the owner of the building said. She got out of a cab, right here. So it's not like she was walking from the subway, I mean, this was just like a really horrific chance of opportunity, Like if somebody walking from the subway a few blocks and somebody follows them, you can say, well, you took the subway home and you get somebody a chance. But no, she was in a cab, got out right in front of her door. So it's not like he was waiting for her. I seriously doubt that. It was a moment of opportunity that he just happened to be right there in that place at the same time when she hopped out of that cab at that time of the morning. So she got out of the cab right here and he followed her. He grabbed the front door just before it closed. He followed her all the way up, hanging back, staying one floor behind her, all the way up to the sixth floor. Imagine that, all the way. She had to walk up, no elevator. Then he waited until her door was just about closed, and he went in. Sounds horrific. Yuna Lee was found in her bathtub, bleeding from multiple wounds to the body, while her alleged killer was discovered hiding. What a coward. Hiding under a bed, according to the sources and NYPD spokes. Man, so much blood, the building's owner said. My wife said I should call someone to clean all the blood, but I'm going to clean it up myself. It's the least I can do for that poor girl. One of Yuna Lee's sixth-floor neighbors who called 911 recalled the victim's desperate pleas for help. She was calling for help, screaming for help. I woke up to it. It was awful, the 21-year-old neighbor said. Help me. Call 911. That's exactly what she said, over and over and over again. Responding cops found the suspect, identified by sources as Nash, 25 years old, inside the apartment and covered in blood. Nash allegedly tried to flee the grisly scene via the fire escape before barricading himself inside, prompting the NYPD's emergency service unit to bust down the door, according to sources. There was a male inside refusing to exit the apartment, a police spokesman said Sunday. FDNY medics pronounced the victim dead at 5:55 a.m. Cops found a bloody knife in the apartment and believe it came from Yuna Lee's own kitchen. Sources said, adding that both Nash and the victim were stabbed. Officers who were nearby when the call came in rushed to the scene and tried to break down the victim's door as she screamed for someone to call 911 inside. Sources said they even tried using a sledgehammer at one point, but were initially unable to get inside until ESU showed up. So ESU means Emergency Service Unit. That's a special team in the police department that's trained to extricate people like from vehicle accidents and so forth. Like if you're trapped in a car, they're the special team that could pull you out using like the jaws of life. One cop who was on the roof at the time spotted Nash on the fire escape and trying to flee. The sources said he spooked him into going back inside the apartment, where he was found hiding under a bed. Wow, imagine that, this guy is hiding under a bed. What a coward. Sources said Nash, 25, is a homeless career criminal with 3 open cases and a record of several escapes from police custody. Now you gotta wonder, how is this guy able to escape from police custody? The victim, who was Asian, was a digital producer and previously lived in New Jersey. Sources and neighbors said she's from New Jersey, been here less than a year. The building's owner said Sunday. Such a sweet girl. One neighbor who heard the victim's screams called them horrifying. It sounded like something you would hear out of a movie or of a domestic violence, said Andrew Oakes. I didn't think anything of it. I thought, oh, that's strange, until the police came. It wasn't until I heard banging on the door and lots of people running up the stairs. Police are investigating whether the slaying was a hate crime. It's all under investigation, an NYPD spokeswoman said. A police spokesman said the 911 call was prompted by a disturbance in the apartment. And in the picture here, you see the people from the coroner office taking the body out. Mayor Eric Adams denounced the attack in a statement Sunday. I and New Yorkers across the city mourn for the innocent woman murdered in her home last night in Chinatown and stand with our Asian brothers and sisters today, the man said. While the suspect who committed this heinous act is now in custody, the conditions that created him remain, Adams said. The mission of this administration is clear. We won't let this violence go unchecked. Nash has 3 open cases in Manhattan dating to last year, including 27 counts of criminal mischief from an arrest last month and 2 busts from last year for possession of stolen property and assault. In the assault case, Nash is accused of slugging a strap hanger in the right eye at the Grand Street Station. Grand Street Station is right there by Christie Street. Yeah, there's a subway station right there. The D train on September 28th, while the victim was swiping the MetroCard. That area is particularly heavily Chinatown. Right a little east of the Bowery. Yeah. If you go over from the Bowery about 1 block over, you got Christie Street. The suspect was busted in Midtown on January 6th for allegedly damaging dozens of MetroCard machines at 3 different service stations, dating back to December 8th, according to a criminal complaint. See, so this city of New York, I mean, there's so many mentally ill people attracted to New York City. It reminds me of those mutts attracted to bright lights. It's a bright light, and they all come and they coalesce around the bright light. That's how New York City is. That's why I try to stay out of Manhattan. Manhattan attracts too many mentally ill people, and you never know what they're up to. Nash allegedly used an object to jam the slots. All this is mischief. A guy this age is acting like a teenager. Nash allegedly used an object to jam the slots in the machines that accept bills. Well, why is he doing that? In the assault case, Nash is accused of slugging a strap hanger in the right eye at the Grand Street station on September 28th, according to another criminal complaint. He was released without bail, but skipped out on the case, right, and was arrested 2 months later on a warrant. He was again released instead of being in jail, but locked up at Rikers. Sources said Nash was also charged with assaulting a woman in May 2021, but that case was later sealed. In January 2021, he was charged with 27 counts of criminal mischief for damaging MetroCard machines, and also hit with charges of escape and resisting arrest, the sources said. In all, Nash had more than a half dozen other arrests dating back to 2015. At a press conference near the scene on Sunday, Asian American community leaders called the attack gruesome and demanded action from the city. This is so gruesome and so horrible and so cruel, State Assemblywoman Yuna Lee, who broke down in tears while speaking, said at Sarah D. Roosevelt Park near the scene. And they left some flowers there right by a tree, right near the building. Flowers of police at scene of the stabbing scene at 111 Christie Street. We have to make sure that our city has to stop saying sorry, that our state stops saying sorry, Neo said. Our communities deserve answers and we haven't been given any. The Big Apple has seen a series of violent acts against Asian Americans in recent months, with Sunday's fatal attack just the latest. Why are violent, mentally ill individuals, those with a criminal past, attacking us? Said Ben Wee of the advocacy group Asians Fighting Injustice. This individual has at least 6 priors and open court conks against him, he said. What has failed in this system to allow this to happen? I agree. This guy should have been locked up. I mean, really. Somebody like that doesn't even need bail, He's doing stuff, he's charged, he's let out without bail. He doesn't show up for this court case. There's a warrant for him. They lock him up again. They release him again. Had he been locked up and been on Rikers Island, this woman would be alive. No doubt about it. This is really an injustice. And it really needs to stop. Yeah. Because it seems like, though, this is going to just get worse. No end in sight, apparently.